Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, as always, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and your support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. If you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, the loyalty crown badges, you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember, that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, with everything going on right now, after getting through my polls, enjoying the event, really having fun right now, and taking it easy. But I've done a lot of testing, and I know right now a lot of people are kind of divided, but I want to give my opinion on it because, as always, everybody has their own opinion. And when it comes to these kind of videos, remember that I like to break it down into 3 categories. I like to talk about the incoming timing of everything going on right now, especially depending on your account. I like to talk about the waifu aspect, but that's always subjective. And then I like to talk about the equipment, the levels, the skills, everything for the character, and then get to testing. So let's get started, and let's start talking about the income and timing. Because right now, it's kind of a rough time right now. Because not only do we have the Stellar Blade collab right now, but we have confirmation of the Nier collab. Now, there are some question marks in the air right now because Famitsu released an article about the whole dev talk that happened, and they mentioned Nier swimsuits. So I don't know if the collab is going to have skins and that's just going to be a summer collab, which I feel like, especially if you're free to play, it's going to be kind of lame because if they're paid skins, then that's going to be kind of unfortunate. But it did get deleted, so kind of question marks on everything with that right now. So interesting stuff. So we'll see in the future when Shift Up actually says something. But for now, it just seems like a Nier rerun. Unless, it comes up again. But with all that happening, and then, summer, and then we got, maybe quote-unquote bunnies. At this point, it's copium. And then, schoolgirls. And then we have the Annie. There's a lot going on right now in the second half of the year. And it's more congested into one. It's a tough time right now. So if you're trying to go for everything, I can understand if you want to skip something, especially if you don't like it. I completely understand. But if we're talking about the meta perspective, here's my opinion, because I feel like everybody wants all the meta characters. Everything has to be meta. For me, I could care less if everything's meta, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this game especially is already going through power creep, so I don't understand why everybody just wants every unit to just be power crept and broken. I think a good unit can still be good and have their place in other categories that excel better. While still being solid, doesn't mean they're trash or mid, just means they're good. Not everything has to be meta, but that's just a personal opinion. I know Sephi placed her on tier 1, which is the good units, and tier 0 is the meta, and I think that's a fair assessment. I think she's good. A lot of people placing her trash because she's not meta is, in my opinion, kind of ridiculous, but it's okay. It is what it is. But I think, especially for Iron Code, because Iron Code without the heavy hitters is kind of bad in my opinion, so I think you should at least go for 1 copy, especially if you really care about solo raids. I think she is going to make a difference, especially with the upcoming one, so get ready for that. Who knows how it's going to turn out for Raven, but for now, I feel like at least it's a must pull 1 copy, or MLB if, you're going for the waifu aspect, which is completely up to you. But now that we're talking about the waifu aspect, let's talk about Eve. Because I'm not going to lie, I kind of simped out yesterday. I'm not going to lie, I did. I was kind of down miserable because I was just celebrating the fact that I had some of the best pulls. But she looks great. I know some people are criticizing her style, but I really like her facial animations. I like her lips. I like how she looks. So for me, I really like the style. So hey, it is what it is. I like it. And just on appearance alone, she looks great. But the JPS, they are glazing their own character with this because it looks so good, bro. They did a great job with it. Even the free outfit looks great. And it's a little bit of a different type of JPS because you still get the JPS, but then you get panty shot. Looks great. And then when it comes to the event pass, even the base outfit looks so good that you don't even need to get any of the skins, which I feel like should be the bookmark, you know what I mean? It looks so good you don't need anything else. And same thing with this. Just looks fire, but it's not necessary by any means. I think it looks cute, but I am definitely going for the gacha skin. It's just butter, bro. It looks so good. Looks so good. Actual butter. It's so good. But I think that is enough simping for one day. I don't want to get demonetized. I'm just saying. I want to keep this channel alive. Please, YouTube, don't ban me. But when we're talking about Eve, we're also talking about her skills and equipment and everything. Right now, you can see I have her old level 5 with a purple SR doll level 15. I really gave her a lot of TLC, really enjoying her character. But if we're talking about priorities, elemental damage is always going to be number 1. Try to get as many as you can. But then also with her, a lot of her skills require to have a, constant shooting. So getting 2 max ammo lines will be critical here. Coupling those max ammo lines with the Bastion Cube would be the priority in my opinion, rather than Resilience, to try to keep building ammo to keep shooting without needing to reload, which in my opinion is the best way to go. Now, she also can have some crit damage as well. I feel like that's not as necessary, so if you want the priority, I feel like elemental attack, 2 max ammo lines, then going for attack, and maybe like 1 crit damage can be good, but it's not necessary. Now, here's the thing. She is a very expensive gal. She is needy. She's a very needy character, and I'm gonna be honest. I feel like maybe you could go 777 as the base, but if you want to try to go all in, I feel like 10-10-7 plus might be the way to go. The reason for this is just because everything contributes to each other here. Her skill 1 over here with not needing to reload because activates when landing 44 critical hits and then dealing damage is insane. The damage taken is great as well. Max ammo going up and then just dealing attack 50% of the caster's attack continuously is great. But then also her burst with the scale and everything and the final attack as damage is just really good. And everything kind of stacks, but I feel like the burst skill can be the least priority here. Now, when we're talking about testing, it's going to be a little bit iffy because we are going to do a comparison to Rappy Red Hood. I feel like that'll be the best comparison when we're talking about DPS, at least versus Iron. But I just want to say, for the record, that my Rappy is rough. So, for transparency's sake, before we show the testing results, I just want to say, my Rappy has only 1 elemental line, which is 23%. She has 137% max ammo, 23% attack, and 29% critical damage. And for some reason, she has some defense lines. But with my Eve right here, I have almost 70% elemental damage, 96% ammo, and increased attack of 27%. So for what I want, it's at least good, but my lines could be better so they stack. But it is what it is. We are going to be talking about testing results, so give me 1 second. Now, for the first shooting test, I actually went through the Union shooting range against Iron Weak. So just, keep that in mind. I did this for bossing. And for this start, I used Litter, and I used the Maids in comparison with Eve and Rappy Red Hood. As you can see, my Rappy Red Hood is doing 3.2 billion. Eve is doing 2.6 billion, which is still a lot less. But I think in comparison to how strong Rappy is, this is actually a decent way to try to keep up, and I think that's really a good solid job. Especially when you're thinking about the investment comparisons that I mentioned earlier, I feel like that's still really, really good. And I did a few differences between burst ones while keeping the Maids because I want to try to maintain mass crit damage because I feel like that really benefits Eve. Now I did this test with Miranda, who is phase 3 treasure. Her treasure in my opinion is pretty good. I have her skills at 777. Her crit rating, crit damage are going to help contribute to Eve with the Maids here. And as you can see, Rappy did take a bit of a hit because she wasn't utilizing buffs from Litter, for instance. So here, Eve managed to have a little bit of an advantage here with that crit, having almost 3 billion, while Rappy was about maybe 100 million short. Now, it's always going to vary from situation to situation. That doesn't mean that Eve's better than Rappy Red Hood by any means. I still think Rappy Red Hood is the best DPS in the game. But just in this instance, because of the amount of crit that we're combining here, makes sense. But still, really solid job. I think that's great. This time I did the same thing similar to Miranda, except that Volume also has CDR. And in this comparison, it's a bit different here. Rappy is doing a little bit more now. Eve is kind of edging behind. But that's still a pretty decent catch-up right there. Being about 400 million short, that's still impressive in my opinion. I did another final test doing the meta comp using Siren, Crown, and then Helm to just get the burst generation going consistently. Obviously, Little Mermaid's doing just even solid on her own, which is crazy. Crown doing pretty damn good here as well. Now, Eve versus Rappy, this is where you can see the biggest difference here. When Rappy can utilize buffs, it's insane to see, because she is a powerhouse. Eve is trying her best to try to catch up, but she is falling behind Rappy here. But still, in my opinion, depending on the situation, she can be better than most of the Iron in the category, depending if there are parts or not. I feel like she can surpass someone like Red Hood. But it's situational, but I still think you can have fun with this character and have her wherever you want. She's obviously not going to do as good if she's in campaign with ads and stuff, but I still feel like she's great and usable. But that's just my opinion. Everybody has their own take. Obviously, everyone has a different account. If you're not able to invest to a certain degree, your Eve's not doing great. Perfectly understandable. Everybody has a different account, but I just wanted to give what I had to offer. But I think that's going to be enough yapping from me. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on everything going on right now. Are you guys enjoying the event? I know co-op is out right now. Are you guys enjoying the new changes? Let me know. But overall, for me, like I said, I'm happy. I do think she's a good unit. Not meta, but I do think she's good. So I'm very happy with her. I think they did a great job, but that's just me. But I hope you guys have a lovely day, lovely night wherever you're from. And as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care and have a good one.